Our team works very diligently and really closely with the medical team to make sure that wish is granted when they need it the most.
Yeah.
We do have many families that will opt to put their wish on hold for a little bit, maybe until the end of treatment, or we have a lot summer. We're coming up on summer right now, the busiest time for us at Make-A-Wish, because if you have a child that's out of school most of the year and they get to go back, they don't want to take more time off until they're actually out for summer. So we call it our summer of wishes, and it really is a magical 3 months, one of the busiest times for us to grant wishes.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of Spotlight Houston, where we bring you the best people, places, and events in Greater Houston. In today's episode, we're shining a light on an organization that brings joy, hope, and unforgettable memories to children facing critical illnesses. Our guest is Shelley Millwee, President and CEO of Make-A-Wish Texas, Gulf Coast, and Louisiana. She joins our host, Blanca Quezada, to share how this incredible nonprofit has granted more than 11,000 wishes to kids and teens across 47 counties in Texas and 64 parishes in Louisiana. You'll hear uplifting stories of children whose biggest dreams, like planting 1,000 trees or running an ice cream truck, came true thanks to the dedication of volunteers, donors, and community partners. Please note that we edited the episode for time. This is episode 137 with an original air date of Monday, May 12th, 2025. Spotlight Houston is brought to you by Story Zone Media. And now here's your host, Blanca Quezada.
Hi, I'm Blanca Quezada, and welcome to the show. It's great to have you here. Did you know that Houston has this amazing, and I'm talking amazing, foundation, and it's been around for several years, and it grants life-saving, changing wishes for children with critical illnesses. And it just transformed their lives. They're getting to have fun and enjoy and get what they want, what they've been dreaming of, basically. And, there's a lot that I can say, but I've invited Shelley Millwee. She's president and CEO of the Make-A-Wish of Texas Gulf Coast and Louisiana Foundation. And she's here to tell us how they will move anything and or whatever it takes to make a child live that special moment and whatever they've dreamt about. Hi, Shelley. How are you doing?
Hello, it's great to see you, Blanca. Thank you for having us on.
It's great to have you here because there's so much we need to talk about for this foundation. The Make-A-Wish Foundation is so unique because no matter what it may take, you're there and you're granting these amazing life-changing wishes for children. And you've been doing it since 1984, right?
That's correct. Yes, we granted our first wish ever actually back in 1980. And our chapter here, the Texas Gulf Coast and Louisiana chapter, has been around since 1984. So we've granted thousands and thousands of wishes.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. How many wishes?
Yeah, so our chapter in particular has granted over 11,000 wishes just in the Texas Gulf Coast and Louisiana region since we were founded in 1984. But what I really just enjoy telling people is that since Make-A-Wish was founded in 1980, more than 600,000 wishes have been granted for kids across the globe. We are a national organization, but we're also a global organization. It's just really spectacular to see how people come together to grant wishes for kids when they need it the most.
Yeah. And how many counties does it serve in Texas and Louisiana?
Yes, so we are 47 Texas counties. We're predominantly on the east coast of Texas, if you will, and the entire state of Louisiana, which is all 64 parishes.
Wow. Whose idea was it to start this foundation? Because, like I said, it's unique.
Yes, so we were founded actually by a group of individuals that came together to make a really special moment for a little boy named Chris Grecius. When he was 4 years old, he was diagnosed with leukemia back in 1980, the medical advancements at that time were very limited. And so, unfortunately, he had a pretty poor prognosis. But little Chris absolutely loved police officers. He wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. And he had the fortunate opportunity to meet a gentleman by the name of Tommy Austin, who was a customs DEA agent. And he just thought he was better than sliced bread. They had such an immediate connection. In fact, Tommy will tell you that the first time they met, Chris actually put his hands up and said, freeze. And it was just an incredible bond. So Tommy, along with many of his friends that were with the Arizona Department of Public Safety, came together to help his reality to become a police officer happen. And so a lot of individuals came together. They took him up in a helicopter. He got to ride in a police car. He got to write citations to people. He actually was made an honorary police officer. And it was just a really special experience that no doubt transformed an entire community.
Yeah.
And that's really the founding of Make-A-Wish.
Yeah. And definitely, him as well. It gave him that energy, that what can you call it? The hope to get better.
Yes, it did. What Tommy will share with you is that the day they were going to grant Chris's wish, he'd been very sick for weeks leading up to this day. And he said his phone rang at 6 a.m. that morning. And little Chris said to him, Tommy, did you forget about me? He said, no, I'm on my way. And little Chris was standing out on the side of the driveway waiting for Tommy to pick him up that day for his wish to come true. And so there's no doubt that giving a child the hope of something exciting coming to life, no doubt has a major impact on just their overall mental health and their health journey.
Yeah, that energy and knowing that they've got something to do, something exciting, something fun, right?
Yes, exactly.
So how is it that these children get selected to have their wishes granted?
We grant wishes for children between the ages of 2.5 and 18 years of age. We work with their medical team to qualify them based on their diagnosis of battling a critical illness. And we ask that every child has not had a wish granted before, either from Make-A-Wish or another wish granting organization. And this just allows us to reach as many kids possible with the power of a wish.
Yeah. Over the years, what have been some of the most impactful wishes that have been made or that you've been a part of?
I tell you what, these children are some of the most inspiring people I've ever met in my life. In the last 5 years since I've joined Make-A-Wish, I've had the opportunity to see every type of wish imaginable come true. One that we most recently granted just a few weeks ago was a precious little girl by the name of Aria. And she wished to plant 1,000 trees in her community because of the effects of the hurricane last year. And it was just amazing to see how all the stars aligned for us to be able to grant a wish of that magnitude. So she's certainly inspired me. And we've had kids, we have a ton of kids that give their wishes away. They want to buy their mother a really nice watch, or they want to take their brother shopping. Those wishes are very special because our kids are so selfless. But I think they know everything that they go through with their own illness impacts their entire family. And so those are certainly very moving.
Yeah.
We've had a wish where a kid wanted to swim with otters. And that's like the most interesting wish. We have kids that obviously wish to go to Disney World and wish to travel. Last year, Hawaii was a hugely popular destination. Alaska with the Northern Lights. Kids certainly love to have those experiences and be able to bring their family along for the ride.
Yeah. What do teens usually ask for?
Oh, goodness. Teens, I'd say we get a lot of requests for iPhones and electronics and computers and gaming systems. We've done a lot of home movie theater, makeovers. We have wishes for animals. We have little puppies and cats. We gave away a bird. So it just really varies. We obviously check with mom and dad to make sure that a pet is allowed before we just deliver one. But yeah, I think our goal at the end of the day is to look for the yes, because this is an opportunity for kids to regain some of the control that they don't have in their day-to-day lives.
And I bet they don't complain at all.
They don't. They usually don't.
Yeah. You had mentioned Aria.
Arias.
Aria. And I had heard of Aria. And I was like, where are they going to get 1,000 trees? And where are they going to plant all these trees? So I'm sure it takes a lot of people to, a huge community to help you with some of these wishes.
Blanca, I will tell you, I too was asking those same questions. Where are we going to get all these trees? I think the first question was 1,000. Why did you decide on 1,000? And in typical kid style, she goes, it sounds like a big number. Of course it is. We're so fortunate to have just outstanding relationships with Make-A-Wish. I was able to phone a couple of our board members that are just incredibly connected. And I was able to make a connection with Trees for Houston, which is just an amazing nonprofit here in Houston. And what was amazing was there were no questions asked. They said, we will donate all 1,000 trees. And that was the first step of bringing this wish to life, was tracking down trees. We knew that we needed some specialists to come alongside us. We don't know anything about planting trees and how to take care of them and all those pieces. But after some discussions with Trees for Houston, we decided, gosh, what an amazing way to spread Aria's joy by hosting a community tree giveaway. And so we partnered with Constellation Field and Memorial Park to actually give away about 450 trees at each of those locations one Saturday. And we had wait list for the trees. They were all picked up.
So wow. Great. Wow. Great people out there. And I also heard that she's a very smart little girl. And I think it was during the hurricane or something, their neighbors lost their trees.
Yes.
And she's become an environmentalist, basically.
She just can't wait to watch the trees grow up and bring joy to her community. That is exactly what she's told us. And so I think it's very inspirational. What she's done.
Yeah, definitely. I just couldn't understand. It's like, why is she asking? Because I hadn't heard that of other kids that would ask for something else other than something for themselves.
Yeah.
And this was major. Wow.
Yes.
Is a great kid.
I think another really inspiring story. We have an amazing former wish kid. He's an adult now as a working professional, but his wish was to be the boss of the ice cream man. And so he essentially took over an ice cream truck and passed out free ice cream to all of his friends when I think he was around 5 years old. And I love that so much because it just speaks to the heart of the kid. But what Robin, the wish kid, will tell you today is that you can see the photo of him passing out the free ice cream, but he said what you don't see is the entire group of 30 plus people from his neighborhood that were following behind that ice cream truck, cheering him on. And I think that just speaks to the spirit of Make-A-Wish. That's really what we try to do, is bring a community together around a sick child.
Yeah. So how are kids referred to the Make-A-Wish Foundation?
We get referrals from many different sources. Primarily, we work with hospitals. We work with child life specialists. We work with various different specialties within hospital systems that make referrals to us. We also receive referrals from parents and sometimes family friends. But ultimately, every wish goes through a qualification process where we do work with the child's medical team to ensure that they're eligible for a wish and that the wish that they desire is medically acceptable. If we had a kid that wanted to jump out of an airplane, we'd
Oh.
probably have to really make sure that was okay
Yeah.
before we went to grant that.
Did you grant it?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. Please, I don't want to see that one. That gives me a lot of anxiety.
Oh. It's just amazing that you can grant these wishes for these kids. But how do you select a kid when they all want a wish? And unfortunately, there are hundreds of little kids, teenagers as well, that happen to be going through some critical situations. So how is it that you can select one kid and not another?
Yeah. So right now we have a little over 1,100 kids that are waiting for a wish to be granted in the Texas Gulf Coast and Louisiana area. And this year we are on track to grant 650 of those, which is incredible. It's more than we've ever granted as a chapter. We host a lot of fundraising events and we raise as much money as possible so that we can grant as many wishes as possible in a year. What I will tell you is that we know when we start next year, we have 500 of those kids that are coming along the journey with us. And we try to grant the wishes in the order that we receive them. And of course, you never can tell. Sometimes prognosis will change, timelines will change. And if we hear from a doctor that says, hey, we need to grant this wish sooner, we will move everything to make sure that wish happens for a child. Our team works very diligently and really closely with the medical team to make sure that wish is granted when they need it the most.
Yeah.
We do have many families that will opt to put their wish on hold for a little bit, maybe until the end of treatment, or we have a lot summer. We're coming up on summer right now, the busiest time for us at Make-A-Wish, because if you have a child that's out of school most of the year and they get to go back, they don't want to take more time off until they're actually out for summer. So we call it our summer of wishes, and it really is a magical 3 months, one of the busiest times for us to grant wishes.
What kind of wishes do you grant during the summer?
As any type of wish you can imagine. We try to avoid like high peak seasons. Going to Hawaii in the middle of July can be really costly for us. And so we may ask a child to wait until September. But for the most part, during the summer, we're granting a lot of travel wishes, a lot of trips to Disney World. We do a lot of shopping sprees, believe it or not. When you can give a child a gift card with money on it and their parents can't tell them what they can do with the money, that is really popular.
Crazy. I'll tell them they're crazy.
Yes. So we may spend 6 hours in every store all across the city. They get to shop and pick out the things that they want. So really and truly, we grant every type of wish you can imagine.
Yeah. Does someone from the foundation accompany them when they're going through their wish?
Yeah, so we actually have a team of people that help bring a wish to life. Obviously, our staff plays a really big role, and just primarily the back end of a wish. Where we rely heavily is on volunteers. So right now we have about 450 volunteers that serve many different roles within the organization, but primarily it's wish granting. And so we will have volunteers that meet with the family. They do wish discovery with our kids and interview them. We'll get everything together. They'll come and pick their packet up and then go and deliver that back to the family. So oftentimes our volunteers are our hands and feet in the community, so that we can continue to process the wishes on the back end.
And how can we become a volunteer?
Volunteers are welcome any day of the week. You can actually go to our website. It's wish.org/TexGulf. That's TEXGULF. And there is a volunteer application on our website where you can submit your interest, and our volunteer manager, Nikki, will reach out and let you know when our volunteer training is.
Yeah. I saw a story about a little girl that wanted to meet a unicorn.
Yes.
And it definitely takes somebody to know how to get a horse and make them look like a unicorn.
Absolutely. And sometimes the wishes are complicated. And volunteers will say, hey, how do we need to go about this? And we have, again, so many relationships. We just granted a wish for a teenager with the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. They provided us a Brahman cow. The little boy wanted a Brahman cow in his backyard and had a pasture and all those pieces to be able to take care of it. So, yeah, you figure out. We always say this, where there's a wish, we find a way. And so, again, we just look for that yes and try to bring magic into these kids' and families' lives.
You also have a young leaders board. What do they do? How do they help?
Yes, we have an incredible young leaders board. I'd say it's about 40 to 50 young leaders in our community here in Houston that have come together. I'd say it's a networking opportunity, but they rally around our Wish Kids and actually fund wishes and help grant them for our chapter. But they do it in a really unique way. They host events throughout the year. They just recently did a bingo night. They do a trivia night. And they just bring a lot of creativity into fundraising and camaraderie amongst their peers. So there's just an incredible group of very smart, passionate leaders in our community.
Yeah, they have a mission that they're working for. So you had mentioned that you have events throughout the year. What events do you have coming up soon?
Yeah, we just completed our largest fundraising gala, actually just last week. It was our second annual Wish Ball. This is a black tie fundraiser that we do annually, just an outstanding feat for our team. We'll be planning that in April. It'll be April 10th, 2026. We already have the date for next year.
Oh, great.
Yes. And this has just been a huge undertaking for our chapter, but one that we're super passionate about. We were able to raise $1.8 million to help grant wishes in the coming year at our event last week. So I'd say that's certainly, I would say, one of our tentpole or flagship events. We do a number of mixers and socials in the community throughout the year. We do a Builders of Hope sporting clay event in the fall, and that is put on by the construction industry. We have a great group of companies that come together to put that together. So there's sponsorships and pieces to get involved there. We are growing tremendously in Louisiana as well. Really, you can find out all of our events and things that are happening on our website or on our social media accounts.
Yeah, I heard you're having a crawfish event happening soon in Louisiana.
Yes. Louisianans love their crawfish. So we said we're going to do a crawfishes and wishes event.
Oh, that's perfect.
Be coming up in a few weeks here in Baton Rouge, which is a great community for us as well. So it'll be fun.
So if we can't become a volunteer or attend some of these events for whatever reason, is there any way that we can help anyway?
Absolutely. I think give us a call. Let us know how you would like to plug in. Oftentimes, we're looking for skill-based volunteers, photographers, videographers, folks that want to help us tell our kids' stories. We most recently were looking for some counselors to come in. As you can imagine, it's not always sunshine and rainbows. We have tough days too, and we walk alongside our families. And so I would just encourage anybody that wants to get involved to pick up the phone, give us a call, and we will find an opportunity for you to serve this mission alongside us.
Can we make donations or send in donations?
Absolutely. Fundraising is really critical to us being able to grant wishes. And so if someone would like to make a gift to our organization, you can go online and you can do that directly. We accept cash, check, stocks, donor advised funds, a number of ways that you can make a gift and have an impact in our organization.
Use cars.
We do, believe it or not, have a relationship with a company. We don't accept the cars. But we do have a relationship. Yes, it's called Car Donation Foundation. And yes, we also have that as a resource.
Yeah. So, Shelley, can you mention your website one more time, please?
Our website is www.wish.org/TEXGULF.
You mentioned that people can call. So what is the number?
If someone would like to give us a call, you can find our phone number on our website, as well as all of our email addresses for each of our staff members, depending on where you'd like to get involved.
Is it possible also to maybe donate toys or games, or kids like to play video games, especially the teens?
Yes, we have an entire toy room actually at our Make-A-Wish office in Houston. And so the holidays are a really great time if companies or individuals would like to do a toy drive. We are always looking for inventory. One of the things our volunteers do when they meet with our Wish Kids is they pick out a very special toy for each of our kids and they take that for their first meeting with them. So toys are always welcome.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there ever anything special you do for the parents? Because I know that it's difficult on the parents as well.
Parents are most definitely the backbone of their family and the support of their child. What I will say is that oftentimes we're giving a wish to a child, but it feels like it's for the entire family. I have feedback from parents all the time that say, I've never seen my child smile so much, or this gave our family a great break from the doctor's appointments and the countless tests and waiting on results. This gave our family a time to just breathe and be together. Wishes aren't just for their children. It has an indirect impact on everyone in the entire family.
Yeah, it takes that thought of them being ill for a certain amount of time. And being in that situation is really stressful and scary. But when you see your child having a great time, like you said, the whole family gets involved and they're laughing and they're having a good time. And so it changes for everybody. It's a major transformation, I think.
Yes. When you have a child that is dealing with a critical illness, there's a high level of trauma that every member of the family is battling, not knowing what the outcome is going to be, not knowing how the treatments are going to be received. Those are really scary and dark times for family members. I will tell you, as a parent working in this mission day in and day out, I will tell you, I look at my children every single day and I'm so grateful that they're healthy and I'm not battling this situation that some of our kids are. But I have great empathy for all the parents that are in this situation with their kids.
Definitely, because as you just mentioned, you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Unfortunately, I got to see 2 children pass away. They both had leukemia, and one was 7 and one was 12. So it was heart-wrenching.
So sorry
to be there. And it's like you can't console the parent. There's nothing you can do, nothing you can say is to be there. But when you have these special moments, when the child is laughing and having a good time, you take those thoughts out of your mind as a parent.
Yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry for your loss.
Thank you.
It really is unimaginable what some of our families go through. And I think there's great purpose in Make-A-Wish and where we enter the conversation. We try to be that light and that joy so that when families see us, they know that we're coming with something really great. We're not another set of bad news. No. And it's I will say it's just a very special place to be and involved in. I feel very fortunate that I get to do this job every day.
Yeah. Thanks to you and thanks to the Make-A-Wish Foundation for making such a big difference in a child's life, and also the parents and the entire family. So thank you for doing that. And of course, everyone can get more details, more information by searching your website and also calling if they want to volunteer or help out in any way they can.
Absolutely. We're so grateful. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about our mission and our favorite wishes and all of those things. We just really are grateful for people like you, Blanca, that open up your voice to share more about our mission. So thank you.
I want to help a little bit.
Well, you're doing a great job.
So thank you. And I would also like to thank you as well for joining me and hope you can make a difference in a child's life by calling the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And also, please send me your comments or any story ideas you might have. Thank you.